Hello everyone, it is a pleasure to see you on the Z-Conf. And today I would like to share with you latest news about JDI family. Let the force be with you. Today I would like to discuss with you UI Objects design pattern, the collections of the elements that we have in JDI Lite and how you can use them, our newest test transformation framework JDI Nova, and cool features that it has, and our nearest plans. UI Object is a design pattern that extends page objects capabilities. So first, we should recap what page object is about. Page object is a design pattern developed by Selenium team, where each page of the application represented by the page object class. For example, we have some standard login form, and page object for it in Java will look like this. We have page object class, login page, we have some methods on this page, for example, login to this page, and we have some elements. The logical extension for the page objects pattern is page factory. Each page factory has special constructor that takes driver as input parameter. The main difference here that they have elements that will be initialized by special page factory class. And they also have actions on the page, but in much simple way. For page objects, this is not mandatory to use page elements on the class, but for page factory, this is really important. In any case, using your page objects or page factory, each element is represented by the tag in HTML structure. This is not always the UI element that used by user. But in real application, not all elements can be represented just by one web element. For example, dropdown definitely require about 3 web elements, chips or data picker, really complex element, or element like table require 3, 4 or more web elements and some actions with them. The same situation we have then we work with list of some complex elements like card tiles or product, and even such simple element like text field or password sometimes logically require more than one element. In our case, this is title, value, and the error message. For example, to define dropdown, we need to describe 3 web elements, and for each dropdown, we need to describe same kind of web elements. And for text field or password, we also can be required to have 3 or even 4 elements. But this is not all that we must describe on the page object. We also require to write the actions about these elements. And as a result, just for simple 4 elements, we require to write about 100 lines of code. But the main problem here is not only amount of the code, but the mess that appear in page object. This is not really clear which web elements and actions are linked to the real UI element. And because of code duplication, this is really hard to maintain such kind of page objects. This is why we develop UI Objects pattern. In UI Objects, you will operate with not web elements, but the real UI elements that are used by user. And this makes code really simple and clear to understand, really easy to develop and maintain it, and really scalable for further improvements. Each UI element in this approach can be represented just with a simple page object, with actions and the elements. The same approach you can use for list of complex elements like list of cards, and each card represented by a complex element that includes simple elements like images, text, links, or any other elements that you would like to use. And if you need to work with your elements as a data, you can just write data list card and put as input parameter your data class. If you like such approach or have some questions about our frameworks, you can definitely visit our YouTube channel and ask all the questions in the comments, or just like our videos and share it with your friends. Now let's switch to our most popular framework JDI Lite that not only supports UI Objects pattern, but have the collection for all most popular front-end frameworks like HTML5, Angular, Material, Bootstrap, React, and even Vue. Let's summarize what you will have if you will use UI Objects pattern. As the key engineer, you can write your own specific components, write obvious and simple page objects, or even generate them. You can save your time for both development and maintenance of your stable tests. And also you will get the live documentation from your tests as the result. As the business, you can get tests that you can trust, stable and with all evidence that you would like to check. You can shift left your development process, develop tests faster and fix faster. That makes reduce your regression cycle. And also you will get live documentation after each execution. And you can evaluate results by yourself. Okay, now let's switch to our new test automation framework, JDI Nova, and what it can offer you. Let's start from a simple example. Assume we would like to automate following scenario. Open some page, click on user icon, log in into the application, select in the menu user table page, and then validate the second row in the table that it is the Spider-Man. Using JDI Nova, we can easily implement this scenario with following code. We can write open page, click on user icon, log in with some user, select user table in the service menu, and then check that second row has the Spider-Man entity. This is really simple, require no page objects out of the test or other methods. For example, on Selenit, you need to write following code. It is also compact enough, but you can see there's much more code that you need to develop. And of course, with Selenium, you will have this mess of code without special refactoring. So, JDI Nova will allow you to develop your test really fast, and they describe exactly what you expect from the tests. They're really easy to understand and also easy to maintain. And also JDI Nova is really fast test automation framework. They develop same scenario for Selenium, Selenide, and JDI Nova, and also one scenario where we check all the data in the table and get following a magnificent result. We not only reduce amount of code in 5-6 times, but also see the speed up of our tests compared to Selenium in 2-3 times and compared to Selenide in 2.5 and 5 times. This is really magnificent result, and this is for whole scenario, not for just one action. With JDI Nova, you can develop your test faster and execute it on the high speed. You will always get the clear and obvious test code. Your test always will be stable because we have special mechanisms for stability, and you will also get detailed logs and reports after each execution. All these things makes the development with JDI Nova really simple and make you happy. I also would like to share with you a few other things related to JDI Nova speed. We develop a list of benchmark tests for simple actions like get text from the page or find the element using list of locators or get list of attributes from one element or even get list of elements. And more complex tests like find the row in the table that have 400 rows or get the column values from the same table. You could check the benchmark tests and their results using the link below. We see the boost in about 3-10 times for simple actions, and the more complex action we have, the more boost we observe. But more magnificent results we have for complex cases, like work with big tables or get a lot of data from the page in the same time. In this case, we can observe a boost in about 1000 times. This sounds really cool, at least for me. And if you don't trust these results, you can just check this by yourself. But how JDI Nova can achieve these amazing results? This is because of nature of JDI Nova. Before they get something, for example text, it will combine all the actions that are required to do this, for example search by locators or get multiple attributes, and as a result send the one request to the browser. This simple mechanism allows us to have complex page object. The one page object is the part of another page object, and then they call some action on the element. It will search the element in the context of all his parents. And also we are able to get list of attributes from the page just in one request and then operate them in code. Or you can map your element to some business entity that you have, for example product in our case, and operate with this entity in your tests. You also can work with list of some entities. This is really cool feature that you must try to use. Let's summarize what JDI Nova can offer you. First of all, this is JavaScript-based framework on Java that allow you to execute your test fast and really simple. This is the fastest test automation framework compared to Selenium or Selenide, in about 5 or 1000 times faster. It is really simple to use framework, sometimes it's easier to use than Selenide, and it is really stable for test executions. All elements are stable like in Selenide. With JDI Nova, you can develop reusable UI objects that easier to develop and maintain. After each test execution, you will get detailed logs and reports in Allure, and you can use these reports as live documentation for further evaluations. But I need to warn you that now JDI Nova is in beta testing, so it has not so big community and poor documentation, but we are really open to new ideas, or your contribution will be really appreciated. Now let's switch to final and coolest part of our presentation is layout and visual validations and how you can approach it with JDI Nova. As an example, I would like to look on the most popular functionality in all applications like login form. In most cases, QA engineers will validate here correct login, incorrect login, the forgot password functionality, and some other functional tests. But what will happen with your tests if we will have following changes in the application code? They all passed, but we have a lot of differences here in the login form. Unfortunately, in most cases, we don't mind to validate such cases or just simply have no time to do this. Just check your tests, how many such validations you have in your test suite. But the main question here is how to perform such validations with minimal effort. You can do, for example, visual validations, but in most cases they require too much effort to maintain. And here comes the JDI Nova. With JDI Nova, you can easily validate your layout using should be conditions. You can check that element is above or on the left or on the right of some element, or you can describe and validate more complex layout with this method. You also can easily validate your element visual representation and describe how you will compare the images of the element. Now you know about the JDI Nova framework that allow you easily develop stable tests. You know about cool features of UI objects that are evolution of standard page objects. You know how to work with sections, data, and how to do layout validations. You know how to do visual validations with JDI Nova, and also how to work with list elements. And if you like something from what you're here today, I will be appreciated for you to mention it in the comments, which feature impressed you the most. And at the end, let's see what else we have in JDI family. We also have cool framework JDI DAG for API testing. We also have GDN, the framework for automation page object generation that allow you to generate page objects in one click. We also have the GDN AI with some machine learning capabilities to generate page objects. And at the end, I would like to appreciate it for any contribution from your side, for any feedback, ideas, or helping us with test documentation development, or of course in writing some code. Any contribution will be appreciated. Thank you all. And for latest news, of course, you can always check our YouTube channel, JDI IT Interest in Testing. Please subscribe to it and share it with your friends. This is my context. Thank you all for listening to me, and goodbye. Be the force with you.